Welcome back to Inside Diamond. As we're already a good way through the season, we're going to be talking about the hottest teams in baseball and hottest players in baseball. We're also going to be talking about the underwhelming players and the underwhelming teams and teams that have been surprising us. We'll also be talking about the players that really came out of nowhere and surprised us with their talents and skills. Today, we have special guest, diehard Yankee fan, Joe Dipalota. Joe, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for inviting me. Appreciate
Good
it.
to have you today. Today we're going to be talking about some of the best teams in baseball this season, some of the worst. So, what teams or players have been surprising you through this season?
Oh, for sure, the Diamondbacks. I really think they're gonna have a good year, and they're second currently in the NL West. And I think they have like a good young team, like Corbin Carroll, Zach Allen, star pitcher. I say he's one of the best pitchers right now. They just have a very young team, and I think they're up and coming for the next couple of years. And I think they have a shot at winning that NL West for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. I think the Miami Marlins have been surprising me. I thought they were gonna do a lot better this season,
Uh,
especially with all the hype around Chisholm. I feel like off this off season,
uh,
but I mean, putting him in outfield just doesn't look like that was a smart move at all.
oh yeah, for sure. He's been missing some easy plays out there, just some routine flyouts. He's just making himself dive everywhere. He's not looking good out there, and they have to do something about that.
Yeah, you see many times. I feel like when he's in the outfield, there's just a easy routine ball, but he'll try to field it like a shortstop or a second baseman, and now that will just mess like not field it like a center fielder or an outfielder. I feel like that's really where it's going wrong, more or less.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure,
But
definitely.
yeah, I feel like the Orioles also been a little surprising this season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm
Good young team. I feel like they can go deep this season, make a big run.
Oh yeah, Rushman's doing great. You got Jorge Mateo started off really hot. He's fast. He got a lot of bags already. Rushman's looking like one of the best catchers in the league right now for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, switch hitter, young guy. I feel like he could be real damage in the future to some teams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Uh, what players or teams have been underwhelming you this season?
Um, like saying like the worst teams or like guys that like I'm surprised that are doing good.
Um, More or less teams that you didn't think would be as bad as where they are
I would say I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the Astros would have a lot more wins than they do. I know like 27-19 is still like a good record, but I feel like they would be doing a lot better. And they definitely have very young guys. Like that one pitcher, you know, he's the rookie pitcher right now. He's doing fantastic with the Astros, but I definitely feel like they could be doing a lot better. That's just my personal.
now. Yeah, I agree with that. I think for me, I think it's gonna be the Mets this season. I really thought they were gonna be real damage this early this season because I feel like usually every season they're a really good start of the season, but that's not really how it went this season. Especially through their easiest part of their schedule, seems like they had the most trouble. But when they played
Yeah,
harder teams, they really they won games and played well. So kind of confusing. I mean, obviously injuries have been a little bit of the part of that.
yeah, definitely a big setback for them is injuries, especially with the Scherzer suspension for 10 games. He missed two starts there. And just Scherzer, when he got back, and Verlander, not great starts by them, but Verlander, I think it was last night, he had a pretty good game. I think it was 8 innings, 3 hits, and that's good for him. I hope that for the best, though, for them. He got a couple years left in him. Future Hall of Famer, both of them. So it'd be cool to see them bring home another title. At least get deep in the playoffs.
would be good to see, especially as a Met fan over here. Would love
Yeah,
to see that. But I mean, another team, not a team I would think would do well this season, but the A's. They are just horrendous this season. I think I
yeah,
read something. They're on pace to go like 34 and 128 this season, which is just unbelievable.
yeah. I
They were
heard.
never a team that I thought would be top contenders this season or really anywhere toward like the middle of the table. But
Yeah,
it is just really bad what's going on in Oakland.
yeah. I can't even. I know like three players on that team. I don't even know really anyone because like these guys is just it's like Major League over here. The movies like the Indians team. It's like we got Willie Mays Hayes. I've never seen this guy before. I mean, I don't even know where these guys are from, and they're playing bad. They're playing. I don't even know. I mean, at least you got Ruiz, the center fielder. He's all right. He got a couple bags. He's not bad of a leadoff hitter, but they definitely have a lot of work to do for that organization.
Yeah, I mean, they need something to help them because I feel like year after year it's just very underwhelming out of that team. Maybe there's like one, maybe two good players, but then once they start getting good, traded away for some
Yeah.
assets that don't really end up to be what they expected.
Yeah,
And I think they gotta make some big changes, I think, if they ever want to be a contender in the next couple of years.
I agree with that 100%.
Um, Besides teams, like what players have been standing out to you this season?
I would say I mean a lot of big guys. Alonso, I mean, not the greatest at batting average right now, but the home runs, that's definitely a positive for him and for the Mets. I mean, you got Judge, Rizzo. I'm loving Rizzo right now. He has a high batting average right now compared to last year. His batting average was at 220 and now it's at 300 and I think he's close to tied with Judge in home runs right now and he's standing out to me a lot. What would you say?
Um, I mean, like we said earlier, I like the way Rutschman's been playing for Oakland. I mean not Oakland, for the Orioles. Um, Randy Arozarena, I feel like he's been playing a really good season for the Rays. I
Yandy
don't know if
Diaz.
something happened after that World Baseball Classic, but he really kicked into gear, I think, and just became like a whole another player.
Yeah, I would say for the same for Yandy Diaz, Wander Franco. Those guys been unstoppable this season. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Wander Franco's been put on a good show for the fans. But he's been really special this season. A lot of the young guys are really making big changes this season, big moves.
What would you say like the most like depressing player that like you were thinking, oh, he's gonna do good, but he's just kind of pooping the bed right now?
Um, feel feel like Scherzer. I mean, he's not playing that great at all this season,
Yeah,
but obviously with the suspension and all other stuff, I mean, I don't know if I could be too harsh, but it's just for where he was at last season and what the Mets thought they were going to get this season, it's not as great as I really thought. And like I
yeah.
said earlier, uh, Chisholm also very underwhelming this season.
Personally, I would say Javi Baez. He's been playing like garbage, and his batting average been a career low so far. He just hit his first couple home runs against the Mets. He is a very late start, but lately he's been doing all right. But the start of the season was awful, and especially he's gonna have to be there for the next 9 years, I think. And that's not gonna be fun for Tigers fans for the next couple of years to watch him play, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like ever since he left the Cubs, he just
Yeah,
hasn't been the same player at all. For the Mets or for Detroit, really has been struggling with strikeouts, batting average, and just not as not as special as he was. And I mean, I hate to see it. He was like one of the best in the league at his time with the Cubs, and then just out of nowhere, I just fell off the face of the earth.
100%.
Well, that's it for this episode, Joe. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Great having you.
Appreciate it.
That's a wrap for this episode of Inside Out. Today we talked about the hottest teams in baseball. We also talked about the worst teams in baseball. And we talked about players that have been surprising us this season. But that's all for this episode of Inside Diamond. So hope to see you next time.